Welcome to everyone. Good morning, good day, good evening, good. I can't think of another greeting, but depending on whatever time of day you're viewing this from, welcome. This is the Women of Color in Engineering Collaborative, and if you haven't seen my face or heard my voice, then you have not been engaged with our content. Looking at you side eye. No, I'm kidding. The WCEC is a collaborative of more than 20 plus STEM based organizations, associations, and companies who are all working to make engineering more equitable, more supportive, and more bolstering for women of color in engineering. My name is Kenashia Thompson, and I have the privilege, let me slow down, the privilege of serving as the programs manager for the WCEC. You can go to our website and I'll spend some time on it during this actual recording. But if you want to know, get more context as it relates to our strategic plan, who our leadership team, who those persons are, who our collaborative members are, so get context to some of the programming, marketing, and communications things that we're doing, then I urge you, seriously urge you to first consult our website. We're also active on LinkedIn and newsletters. And if none of the answers to your questions are answered there as it relates to programs, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at wcec.programs@swe.org. And I'll give that email again at the end just in case I didn't answer a question for this video, but I hope you all are in the right place. If so, we're all here to walk through the travel stipend application and answer questions. Before I continue, let's just all pause real quick. Give me 5 seconds, please, of your time. Woo! Nah, for real. I want to give a big shout out to the WCEC team. We have all been hard at work over the last few months to roll out our programming to you all. So you have seen our continuous webinars. You should or should not, depending on when's the last time you've engaged with our website. You will now see an application for our profiles database, and soon to come. The actual like database itself, you'll see the application right now. Soon to come is our resource center, and then this conversation is for our travel stipend program. So I want to give context to the intent slash objective of this programming. I'm going to show you the landing page on our website to answer any questions or anything that you may have, and then I'm going to actually walk through an application with you all today. I want to give a few like housekeeping warning things up front. I am a little nasally, a little sick. I don't know if y'all could tell or not. So apologies up front if that causes any like sound issues or anything. Please let me know and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you about some of the things that I talked about if need be. Also want to apologize if I need to take a quick little cough. This weather change from summer to fall really is messing with my immune system. So apologies for that up front. I also want to let you all know that yes, I am a woman of color. Yes, I work for an engineering organization. However, I do not personally identify as a woman of color in engineering. And I'll get into more about what that eligibility or criteria looks like in our context. But I wanted to give that little tidbit because I'm going to be making up answers as we go through the actual application, if they're actual words at all. Spelling is not my strong suit at all. So I'll just be making up random words, but I will get like audibly give context to the type of information that we're looking for, what supporting documents that you can go ahead and get together and all of that. But just wanted to let you all know that the answers that I'm giving should not be the answers that you submit because they do not speak to the totality or the holistic identity of being a woman of color in engineering. So I want to applaud you all even the now for showing up in the spaces that you do. We know a lot of times that STEM can be abusive and harmful and just not supportive to people of color, let alone women of color in engineering. So I want to applaud you all for the amazing work that you're doing. It's radical, just your identity and just being in those spaces in a sense. So thank you for that. I also want to let you know that I'm going to be sharing my screen. There's going to be a couple of tabs open. So apologies if it takes a few seconds to get from one tab to the next, but hoping that this video can be a comprehensive overview of some of the things that we're looking for in the application. So again, hope you're in the right place. We're going to be talking about the travel stipend program, which is different from our other programs, and that will look like me going through our landing page as well as going through the actual application with you. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So, if you have not had a chance yet, you should definitely check out the WCEC website. It's going to house all things related to the WCEC. So, if you have any inquiries around what the work that we're doing, what's our strategic plan, why is the WCEC a thing, what's some barriers that we're seeking to disrupt, who our collaborators are, you can find all of that information housed first on the WCEC website, and then as well as our monthly newsletters, as well as our LinkedIn profile, and we are expanding our social media engagement. But if you're not connected with us on LinkedIn, what are you doing? Like seriously, come on, people, connect with us because there's a lot of different program offerings, our webinars, our profiles database, our resource center. All best practice knowledge sharing from experts, from the lived experience perspective, toolkits. There's just a lot of things that the WCEC is rolling out this year. So we definitely want you to stay tuned to those, and you can get all of the like first information about that on our website. But for the purpose of today, I mentioned our other programs are all knowledge sharing offerings that the WCEC gives. But as a result of us being a National Science Foundation includes grant, part of that grant is us investing monetarily capital back into the communities that saying we're doing this work for. So I am super blessed to be able to even say that the WCEC has this opportunity because honestly, if you Google other travel related stipend programs for women of color engineers, you're not gonna find it, baby. You're not gonna find it except for here at the WCEC. So with the landing page, this is just giving context that the NSF grant gives us the opportunity to award up to $3,000 for women of color engineers to attend professional development opportunities. So the conferences, the projects, the networking opportunities. If you can give justification to how it will aid in your development professionally, then I'm more than certain our evaluation team um, can award a variety of different opportunities to our community. I don't want to see all just conference attendance or all just networking. Please be creative. A lot of our member orgs are doing a lot of cool things, and you can reach their websites via our WCEC website to get more context to what you could possibly use the travel stipend for. But let me say, you don't have to go only to a member organization event because seeing as though we are still continuously growing our member organization team, um, we want you all to show us different things that um, engineering organizations, STEM organizations, associations, companies are doing to invest back into you as a woman of color in engineering. So just wanted to give that tidbit up front that this programming is for you. We try to craft this programming to fit the needs of our communities after we saw a lack in the actual monetary support given to our community. So I'm just going to go ahead and walk through this landing page and then, as mentioned, get through the application. I'm going to attempt to answer a lot of questions as I'm going through. So it's not like 45 minutes at the end of me just asking questions and answering them. But to help us stay more engaged, I'll try to answer as many as I can as I'm walking through and then leave some time at the end to answer any questions. But if you have any other questions that were not answered, first on the website, the travel stipend landing page, if it's not answered in any of the supporting documents that we give to you, if it's not answered in this video, then please don't hesitate to reach out to us at wcec.programs at SWE. I think I messed that up. wcec.programs at SWE.org. Again, that's wcec.programs at SWE.org. And you can ask us any questions as it relates to any of our programs, but if it has to do specifically with the travel stipend, someone will surely be back with you. I did want to mention that I'm able to do, and I keep mentioning hoorah and celebrations for the WCEC team who has been hard at work to get this programming together, but I failed to mention those folks who actually made this programming possible. So please, again, visit our website to learn more about our leadership team, what COPI organizations are doing what. But as it relates to the staff of the WCEC, Dr. Roberta Rincon is our principal investigator. Dr. Lola Rodriguez Vargas is our project director. Drew James is our marketing and communications coordinator, and Dr. Ashley Woodson Walters is our database and diversity specialist. So all of us have been at work to put this program together. So we want you all to please make use of this landing page. The landing page gives context to the intent I mentioned to support in the professional development of women of color in engineering. We're doing that work by providing up to $3,000 in monetary support for for in-person related travel or virtual related professional development opportunities. So on this landing page, we'll get into the FAQ together, the frequently asked questions, but also there's some additional information that we think can support you in your upload of the application. It's not going to be on our website, but the link right here that says submit application is going to redirect you to Kaleidoscope, and Kaleidoscope is the platform that we're using to collect all of the applications. You will also see this section right here that says download the application guide. Yeah, we've taken time to put together some useful resources for you all, to walk you all through what would make a successful application. And if you just download that PDF, a lot of the questions that have been asked so far have been updated. This document has been updated to reflect those answers to that questions along with that FAQ. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this walkthrough. So the travel stipend application, if you haven't noticed, last Tuesday, we bombarded social media. A lot of our member organizations were sharing our content that on October 1st, last Tuesday, the travel stipend application open. See, I'm so excited I can't even get my words out. So for a little bit over a month, until November 15th, you can apply for the travel stipend application. You don't have to do all of this in one sitting. If you did, it would probably take you like 2 or 3 hours. And I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I can't just sit and stare at a screen for that long or think critically for that long. Consecutively, but if that's you, please go for it. I'm rooting for you for real. So from October 1st to November 15th, the application is open. On November 15th, no questions asked, the application will be closed. Not only the application closes, but we're also requesting that you have two recommendations, and those recommendations are also due by the November 15th deadline. And then we're going to take some time to holistically evaluate the application. And when I say holistically evaluate, we're really looking for narrative. We're really looking for your story. I notice a lot of times with previous scholarship programs that I worked for, or grant programs that I've worked for, folks tend to use AI assisted tools to narrate their own story, which doesn't, I mean, it makes sense to me in the sense of traditional power dynamics in like white supremacist cultures look towards like grammar and some other things that I'm telling you, we don't really care about if you miss a period or if all your first words are not capitalized. We're not docking you for things of that nature. What we're really looking for to is to reading about your story and how you're able to articulate in whatever way you feel best how this specific professional development opportunity could either change your career trajectory or bolster your career trajectory or advance it in some way. This travel stipend program is for retention and advancement. So I'm if you want to use AI assisted tools to like fact check, you can, but we don't want you using that primarily to tell your story because nobody can tell your story best than you can. So yeah, as mentioned, the application closes November 15th. And the notifications for disbursement will begin sometime in early February of 2025. So those are some of the dates. I wanted to get into the FAQ that's here on this sheet and then also answer some that came in. So I already mentioned that the travel stipend program is only for women of color who are employed as engineers to support in their professional development as it relates to advancement and retention in the field. So we're awarding up to um, 15 no, not up to, we're awarding up to, yeah, $3,000, at least 15 women of color engineers, and we're only doing this cycle once a year. Who is eligible? Which this is a big question. I've been receiving a lot of a lot of emails requesting information around am I eligible or not to apply. So if you are employed as an engineer, whether through title or your job description or the type of work that you're doing, and you identify as a woman plus of color, then you're eligible to apply. So those who are collaborating with women of color engineers, if you do not identify as a woman of color engineer, you cannot apply. Students are not eligible to apply for this awarding if they are not employed as an engineer. So me personally, I know through grad school, I had to work to support myself and my family. So if I were an engineer and I was looking to apply for this back when I was in grad school, I would be eligible because yes, I'm a student. However, I was employed either through contract, through part-time work, full-time work, what have you. If I identified as a woman of color engineer, I could apply. So I just want to let you all know again, students, right now, none of our programming right now is geared specifically towards students. A lot of our member organizations, especially our co-PI orgs, if you check out their programs, they're doing a lot of work, K through 12, programming as well as collegiate, but this specific travel stipend is only for those who are employed, the professionals. When we say woman plus of color, please check out our website to get more context around who specifically we're talking about as it relates to gender identity, as well as racial and ethnic identity. But you have to be a woman plus of color, either non-binary, gender non-conforming, or cisgender woman who is a woman of color. So that does include persons who are of mixed race. I've noticed a lot in our programming, specifically when it has to do with webinars. Folks are asking if they are eligible for things um, irregardless of their educational formal education. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I am a proponent as a woman and scholar. I do not believe that all the answers lie in the academy. I don't believe folks who have multiple PhDs have all the answers to things. It's the folks with the lived experience who speaks well of their experience, how they see the world, how we disrupt certain things. So I don't want those who do not have a formal education to not apply to the scholarship because we are welcoming women of color engineers, yes, who have formal education, associate's degree, community college, trade school, undergraduate degrees, graduate degrees, but we are also accepting applications for women of color engineers who have no formal education or who have no formal certificate program. So that's one way that we're disrupting traditional norms by making sure that this program is equitable to all women of color engineers, despite formal education or not. There is no question around the identity aspect, though. You have to identify as a woman plus of color in engineering. Right now, it's the same as with this programming not being open to students. Right now, if you choose a in-person or virtual related professional development opportunity, they have to be in the continental United States and her territories. Right now, our programming is not open to international opportunities, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, who knows, by the end of the grant, we're able to offer a wide set of different opportunities. And as mentioned, we will be awarding at least 15 women of color in engineering with up to $3,000 each in support. So this is the landing page as mentioned. And if you click on this page right here, I'm not going to click on it because it'll download and I already have many iterations of this single document on my device. But this travel stipend application guide gives some context to um, the content of the actual application. So what we're looking for, and it's also giving some support to how to get that information. So I'm going to go ahead and go now to the application. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at WCEC.programs at SWE.org. And let's go ahead and make sure the screen is still sharing. Okay, sorry, just had to make sure. So this landing page to Kaleidoscope, once you click the link submit application from our website, it's going to redirect you to this landing page with Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is our vendor that we're using to manage all of the applications. So please don't submit a Google document, Word response, emailing your answers. If your application is not submitted to this platform, then it will not be considered. I do want, before I get into the actual answering the actual questions, I want to let you all know that, and this is back on the vein of our suggestion to you against the use of AI assisted tools. When we're evaluating, we're looking comprehensively at the holistic person in their application. So if you don't have a long sheet or a long like resume of all this grandiose like things that you've done, please do not be hesitated to not submit your application. We're really trying to um, look at the experiences of different women of color in engineering, and not only like industry or field differences, not only career stage differences, but like your story, your narrative. How you got to the place that you went to. And I don't and I'm saying that not to encourage you towards trauma porn or trying to make a great story around how you came up from nothing. If that's your story, please share it with us. But we're not looking we a lot of our programming is coming from an asset based approach. So we're looking at the affirmative or the positive aspects, while also naming how harmful the barriers that we experience in the field impede upon our personal growth. So the introduction to this section basically is what I've been audibly saying to you all is put into text, so that this travel stipend program is to disrupt the landscape of engineering that we see today due to the myriad of like financial limitations and other limitations due to systems that the engineering field in itself continues to perpetuate. So it gives description, it gives more clarity around like the selection criteria, what eligibility or criteria is needed to be met in order to apply for this. I'm not going to read word for word to you all. But I did want to hang my hat right here on this landing page, that we do mention that this application can take a long time because we are asking for your resume. So if you already don't have a resume on hand, you're going to have to craft that. It'll be your first time seeing our budget breakdown. You'll have to go ahead and identify a professional development opportunity and speak to what money or support you need for that. So we're telling you upfront, we know that it takes time. So please don't feel rushed to submit an application. We're not looking at applications before the application closes. So take all the time you need up to that November 15th deadline to submit an application. Please submit an application. In other scholarships that I've administered, It's heartbreaking that someone will spend hours on weeks on weeks on weeks filling out an application and then forget to hit submit. So please, by that November 15th deadline, if it's your wish to submit an application for the profiles database, then make sure that it's submitted ahead of time. So I've gone through this application a couple of times. Um, so you will already see a couple of iterations of it. All right. So it's gonna bring you, I already have an account, but if you don't have an account, which many of you won't have an account if this is your first time applying, then it will ask you, typical information that if you're creating an account with any type of platform that'll ask you, it'll ask you your name, your first and last name, and then your email address. And then once you fill all of that information out, I think you have to do a code to verify your account. Some folks have had to do that, some haven't. So I think it just depends on the device. But once you sign in or create your sign up, it's going to take you to this page. So this let's get to know you section is just the preliminary information that most applications ask if you're applying to any type of grant or scholarship. It's going to ask you your demographic information, and then we also have some selection criteria questions here up front because we don't want, I guess on both ends, we don't want you wasting your time filling out the application if you don't, if you're not even eligible to apply. And then on our end, we don't want to have to swift through a lot of different applications for folks who are not eligible for the travel stipend. We don't want to have to take those extra hours that it takes to do that. So this first section is going to ask your first name. See, it already pre-populated the answers that I gave when I first signed in. And again, don't email this email. This is my sweet email, but don't email this email if you have any questions around the programming. All questions are being populated to the wcec.programs@swe.org email account, so we make sure none of the questions get lost in the sauce, because if y'all saw my email thread, y'all would think something for real. So yes, this is already pre-populated. And I'm gonna give a random address, and then I'm in Alabama, so it's already pre-populating the information that I gave it. And it's asking you for your phone number. We're not going to contact you or anything like that. But if you get want notifications for your application, or if you get locked out or something like that, it's able to locate you by the by the contact information that you give. You need to select which career stage that you're in. So I'm just picking random answers. So don't associate the answers that I'm giving with myself or with the answers that you need to give. But you need to speak to yourself as an applicant. So what stage career are you in? If you're a reentry professional or not. Our research is really interested in those folks. And then which field of industry you work in, not necessarily your degree, if you're not still working in your degree field. But this specific question is asking about you as an industry professional. I'm just going to type electrical engineer since this is the option that it gave us. But if there's a field of study or a field of industry that you're in, we want to give more context right here. This is a big to-do. So I mentioned earlier in the recording that there are many different communication and marketing opportunities that the WCEC offers, one of those being the WCEC newsletter. We only send a newsletter out once per month, and that newsletter is basically updating folks about the work that the WCEC is doing. If there's any offerings, either from us or from our member organizations, we give highlights to those who are in our profiles database, our resources, just all things WCEC, whether it has to do with the tangible work that we're producing or some of the work that we're collaborating with other folks on, is going to be housed in that newsletter. Again, that newsletter is only coming out once per month. You don't have to worry about us blowing up your feed, as I'm subscribed to a lot of newsletters and receiving multiple throughout one day. I know a lot of times I don't click on them, so we're not trying to bombard your thread, your email thread, but you have to be subscribed. This is one of the requirements for to even be considered for the application. You have to be subscribed to the newsletter. Once you click on this tab, it's going to redirect you, link is going to redirect you back to the WCEC website, and from there you can put in your contact information. So you have to be subscribed to the WCEC newsletter to even be considered or apply for the travel stipend program. You have to identify as a woman plus of color in engineering. If you click I do not identify as a woman plus of color, the application is going to shut down. So this programming again is only open to women plus of color who are engineers themselves, but we have a lot of different program areas, specifically our webinars, our profiles database, and our resource center, who all of which are available not only for women of color and who are engineers, but also those who are collaborating with them. We also, for research purposes, would like to get context to other demographic information, but of course, you can choose whether or not you don't want to share that information. We're not like forcing you to, but it will help inform not only our research but our program offerings. So, cisgender, Black, here, and I do not have a disability or accessibility or chronic condition regardless of formal diagnosis. Again, you do not have to share this information if you don't want to, but we have found that different identity categories calls for a certain level of community building. So for example, me being a queer woman, I tend to like to connect with other queer persons. I know persons with disabilities, some of them also want to be able to connect. So, whatever demographic information you feel comfortable sharing, it will definitely help inform our research. But if not, you will not be penalized for not sharing that information. Alrighty, so this section is now giving context to your level of experience, whether that has to be formal education or not. And then you will also upload a resume and give context to some of the positions that you have. So again, here I'm gonna just put in what we already have now, but speak to you as an applicant. If you do not have a formal degree at all, totally fine. It's not gonna make your application go lower on the evaluation group. I would just put I do not have a degree or certificate. And again, this will not sway yay or nay for you not to get the award. If you identify as a woman of color in engineering and can speak to the justification around how this professional development, what impact it will have on you in your career, we're all for it. Here, you're going to put any engineering related roles. And we do have a word count because some folks get a little excited and want to share every single thing they've done ever since toddler days, and that's not what we're asking for. So if you just want to speak directly to your engineering related roles or your DEIB related roles, please feel free to do that. And then here you're going to upload your resume, and anything that you upload, this is a big one, y'all. Please listen. If you haven't heard anything I said yet, because I've been talking for a little minute now. If you haven't heard anything else I've said, one, make sure your application is submitted fully. If you have any questions and you've consulted all the resources that we have and the questions are not there, please don't hesitate to reach out. And then secondly, in the application, anything we're asking you for, please, 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 please upload it as a PDF document, not as a Word document, not as a link to a Google Doc, not as a Sheets document, not as a website link. I can't think of anything else off of the top of my head. But upload anything we're asking you for, your CV, your resume. We're also asking for price breakdown. Any document we're asking you for has to be uploaded as a PDF document, and if it's not, you're not going to be considered for the awarding. Just think we're going to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of folks applying to this, and if we have to track down folks to try to find out information, what goes where, who goes where, that just takes a additive layer on our small team. So we're trying to help you, help us, help you up front in up making sure you upload only a PDF document. For the purpose of this conversation, I'm just gonna upload a random document, and it's not gonna be my resume or CV, but make sure that you are uploading the correct document. And I think it's just best practice, me personally, anytime I'm applying to anything, I try to name the document that in a way that would be easily identifiable to me. So I have a common last name, Thompson. So I tend to put K Thompson resume or K or Kenashia.T resume or KT resume. I would just personally appreciate if you all could label the document in a certain type of way that is identifiable to you in the case we need to follow up with you about anything. So I'm just going to upload a random document, and it has to be a PDF. All right, so for the budget and justification, this is the area that could take the longest time. If you are already coming into the space, like you already know all your demographic information, you can speak to all of that. It's nothing for you to be able to put in what schools, if you went to school at all, what roles you've had. You've already had a resume put together. So up to this point, it should all seem pretty easy. Now, the budget justification is going to take the most time because you have to, one, identify a professional development opportunity. We're not in the business of trying to tell you which opportunity you should go to because we don't know you personally. Even if we do know you, we don't know what could aid you in your professional development trajectory, advancing, retention, whatnot. So you have to already come with a professional development opportunity already identified. Now, I know through our member organizations, and I'll be going through NSBE's as an example because I actually will be at NSBE. So if y'all are going to be in Chicago in March of 2025, look out for me and I'll look out for you if you tell me to look out for you. But I'm going to be just using NSBE to walk through this. You don't have to choose NSBE. You can choose any of the member organization professional development opportunities or non-member organizational opportunities, but you have to have already selected either an in-person or virtual related professional development opportunity. We're not giving more awards to someone, folks who only choose virtual versus the in-person. We're not giving more awards to, and I don't know if you all remember, but one of the in the Let's Get to Know You section, it was asking around your career stage, your career stage, your race, ethnicity, some of those demographic information. We're making sure that we're being equitable in our awarding by making sure that no single racial or ethnic group or career stage or virtual/in virtual related opportunity, no more than 40% goes to a single, whether that be race or career stage or virtual/in person. We, like I keep mentioning, we want to see the impact of professional development opportunities for folks across a whole, like a wide scope. So we're encouraging you to think outside the box. We gave some suggestions here around how you could use the funds, but if you think of another instance and it does qualify as a professional development opportunity, you can give justifications to why. Please feel free to choose that. So, as mentioned, I'm going to walk through NSBE. It's asking for you to choose what the program offering is. I'm not going to spell out like each word as mentioned. Uh, But when you're going through it, I always tell folks, if you don't know, go extra. And not in the sense of like a patriarchal, like capitalistic work hard till you get to a certain place, but seeing as though I mentioned that there's a holistic approach to this application evaluation. Me personally, if I was applying to a grant of this magnitude and it's asking me what will the impact or why do I want to attend a certain type of thing, you best believe I'm going to let you know why how this could impact my growth. Um, I know people who can say a whole lot in 2 sentences. So I'm not encouraging you to write 1,000 words or 1 word, but just make sure however you decide best to be able to communicate that it's impactful. So this event is in Illinois, Chi-Town, and I will be attending in person. So I went ahead and took the time to figure out like the calculations of things in for the NSBE conference, but I'm gonna go through it one by one with you. So let me pull up my total. One second, y'all. All right, so after I calculated, the total price around is $2,254. Now I'm saying around because obviously now you're just putting in your application. Nothing is set in stone. If you're traveling to an in-person related event, you will obviously need a flight and you will also obviously need lodging. Flights, I don't know if you fly frequently or not, but you can look at a price right now and look at another price. I mean, look at that same flight a minute later, and it can jump $500 depending on the flight. So we want to let you all know that we understand the context of you applying this. Some of you may be applying to this a year in advance or a couple of months in advance, and there are some numbers that will skew and that will differ, and there are some numbers that will stay the same. For example, registration or the per diem cost. So this number we know will not be set in stone, but it cannot go over $3,000. We're only awarding up to $3,000. So we're asking you for a budget breakdown because it'll give more context to the nitty gritty, like each line item. But I can suggest that if you just don't know, I would at least round to the nearest 10. All right, so now with the budget breakdown, this is asking you information. This is giving us more context to, so you're going to choose your professional development opportunity and you're going to tell us how or why you chose this opportunity and how it will impact your professional journey. But we also need to get context to what you're asking for. So as mentioned, I'm going to type in NSBE things. So the conference name and location. This is a big one, the 50th anniversary um conference. And those days, it's in Chicago, Illinois. Oh, I need to fix this because it's asking you for location twice, which is not gonna hurt you to know where you're going. Um, but the NSBE 50th anniversary is gonna be March 5th through 9th. Now, this is not asking me all of this information, but again, like I told y'all, I like to, if I'm applying to something I really want my application to stand out or I really want to be considered for something, I usually go above and beyond. Um, Location already put Chicago. The registration price, so I'm a non-member of NSBE, so that's 707. Oh, wrong area. $775. And I'll put here non-member registration. The airfare, a round trip would be around $294. This is a Delta flight. Round trip from Alabama. Well, the airport I would be going from would be CSG to Midway. I think that's Midway's letters. Baggage usually is around $35 or so. Okay, per diem. So if you go back to the landing page of the travel stipend, there's an application guide. In the application guide is telling you that there are certain requirements that the NSF is giving the WCEC in order to award the funding to women of color engineers. Now, once you go to that page, it's going to redirect you. Well, it's going to give you a website link to this GSA. GSA is what we're using. The General Services Administration is what we're using to let us know per diem costs, and by per diem, what you can spend. Like when we're giving you the money, what you can spend either at as it relates to food, airfare, and lodging. This website, and it doesn't just have to do with the WCEC. Anytime you work for any type of organization or anything, a lot of times when you have caps, they give you a credit card and they tell you have a cap for food or something like that. They're getting it from a lot of times from this GSA platform. So once you go to gsa.gov, and again, the supporting documents, how to reach all of this is in that application guide. But once you get to this website, you're going to go to per diem lookup. Then you're just gonna put in your specific information. It's important, I think personally, to put the city because so for NSB, I would be going to Chicago, Illinois, but if I went to Springfield, I don't know. I do know why that was the first place that just popped in my head. But if you were to go to Springfield, Illinois, for example, the prices would be different. Seeing as though Chicago is a larger city. So if you already have the professional development opportunity identified and you can put in the city, great. If not, the state just works. And then this would be in 2025. And then search. So then it will redirect you. It's giving you all the excuse me, all of the answers that you need. So it's giving you your daily lodging rate. So this is the hotel per night, and then the meals and incidentals. So when I'm going back to try to find this information, the GSA website is giving me all the information I need. So for the hotel, seeing as though the conference was March, yeah, March, it would be $142. Now, it's important that you align the per diem amounts with the correct month. As you can see, it's almost $100 difference if I had waited to go to this conference in April as it relates to March. So please make sure when you're reflecting on the budget breakdown, you're able to um, speak to the specific time that you're going. So for the hotel is let me so lodging would be $142 per night, and I'm random hotel. I doubt that's what that is in that area, but total it would be $570. And how I got this number is I took this per night cost and then just multiplied that by how many days I'm gonna actually be there. So next food, they're telling you the per diem amount. So the first day of travel per diem, you have $69 to use for food. Okay. And then I would me personally, if I was adding um multiple entries because I'm gonna be there longer than 2 days, then you could just click this insert below button and then you can add whatever text that you want to. So the per diem for the rest of the days, oops. Um after that is $92. All that all adds up to 92 um, per day. Transportation, all of this so we are able to cover your transportation from home to the airport and then from airport to whatever the professional development opportunity is. But if you decide to go out to dinner with folks or go anywhere like outside of what would be included for the conference. You will have to pay for that on your own. And I'll get into a second how disbursements will look. But you will have to provide receipts for everything that we're reimbursing. So yeah, just make sure if you're using like Uber or any public transportation or anything like that, that is just for conference related things. So I'm just gonna put random numbers, but I think in total I said like transportation would be $200. So I'm just gonna put $200 right here, but this is gonna include, make sure you break down how much each portion could be. Did I get everything? Flight, transportation, lodging, and then you put in your total. So I already added it up earlier today. So this is the total. One thing I want to make mention to you all that this document, the Sheets document that I'm just typing in right now, is public to everyone. And I don't know if you remember, but there was two things I told y'all. If y'all didn't hear anything else that I said today, make sure you heard. And what was the second one that I said? Correct. Make sure you upload PDF documents to the application. It's even in the title right here, download your own copy. I've already been receiving some folks who are trying to request editing privileges to this document. You won't have any editing privileges. Everyone can view the document. Even right now, if someone were to open up this right now, they would be able to see the numbers that I've put in because it's available to everyone. We even went ahead and put in an example here for you if you need be. So to fill out this document, what I'm encouraging you all to do, again, encouraging you all to do because we are only considering PDF documents. To do this, you go to File, Download. I personally like to download it as an Excel or a different document first, unless you have like Adobe or something on your device. Then you can go ahead and download the PDF to put in the information. But again, mentioning again, this document right here is public view. So everyone will be able to see the information that you're putting in. And if you put in information here, someone from the WCEC team will go in and delete because we want to be able to provide equitable access to everyone who is attempting to apply for this program. So after you download it and then fill out the information, make sure you then save that document back to your device to go to the website to upload your budget breakdown. Okay, so the personal statement, and this is the section where I was talking about we're encouraging you all against using AI assisted tools to shape your narrative around the impact of the professional development opportunity. Here, we're hoping that you can give context to that impact. I won't go word for word what this is asking for, and I'm not going to tell you that you need to write it in one sentence or 500 sentences, but you have 750 words in order to explain how the specific professional development opportunity will impact your career. So next. Here you have to have two recommendations for the application. So one personal, one professional, and we're not telling you like who you have to reach out to per se. I would just suggest someone that can speak well to you as a professional, you as a just regular schmegular person, that they can speak well to you for. So how this platform works is you will put in a person's name. So I'm gonna put Lola. So we've already have a preset email, and it's basically telling them, hey, and feel free to customize this. I just know some folks may not know what to say up front. So we just wanted to be able to have this for you, but you can delete all of this and put whatever you want. If that's how you and your person communicate, feel free to do that. But so Lola would be my um professional submission, and then I'm gonna use Drew as my personal. Um, and we'll put it like this. So I'm gonna send Drew this message as if I was submitting. So as soon as I hit submit, it's already sending a link to those recommenders. Kaleidoscope already has that built in, so you don't have to, unless you just want to, just to follow up with them after the fact, letting them know that they should be receiving an email invite from folks. But you have to have, in order for your application to even be considered to be evaluated, not only do you have to fill out the entire application, but you also need to have two recommenders. And then at the end, it's going to allow you to review all of your sections. You can go back and edit a specific section if you need to. Um, but that is the walkthrough of the travel stipend application. So I'm hoping that I was able to answer a lot of the questions for you all as it relates to this very unique programming that we haven't seen anywhere else really to support in the professional development of women of color in engineering. So I just wanted to give a few more highlights from the things that I talked about, and then I believe I answered all of the questions that I've already gone through. If not, I'm just going to check on that again. But again, we're encouraging you against using any AI assisted tools if your primary reasoning is for grammar or for the AI assisted tool to be able to communicate what you can communicate the best. No one is as knowledgeable or can speak as well to your story as you can. Even AI assisted tools, they may make it sound flowery and all of that, but I can promise you that's not what we're looking for. We're really looking forward to hearing your own voice to help inform our research and to help also be able to communicate the impact of this programming for you. The application, as you can see, looked at the holistic applicant. So we got the demographic information, we got the professional information, and then we got like the current professional information, then we got like the hopes for the future. So when we're evaluating the application, it will also be a comprehensive holistic overview. In this video, I was able to share with you all the walkthrough of the application and then also some of the supporting documents. And I've mentioned several times throughout, if you're not able to find any of the answers on our website, on the Kaleidoscope platform that you're uploading your application to, or in this video, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at wcec.programs@swe.org. I'm going to look through this list of questions that y'all have already sent in these last few seconds to answer any questions that I may have left off. Oh, can I make any changes to my application after submitting it? So as mentioned, you can go ahead and start your application and you don't have to submit it right then and there. You have all the way up to November 15th to submit. Once you submit, your application is submitted. So if you have any inquiries about any of that, please don't hesitate to reach out to that program's email that I keep mentioning, but once your application is submitted, it's submitted. We're not prioritizing any specific career stage or field or racial or ethnic group or professional development opportunity. We're trying to get the experiences from folks from different like walks of life. How are the stipends distributed? Which is a huge question that I don't think I even got to. I said I was gonna get to, but didn't. So those folks who are awarded or will be notified through Kaleidoscope in that early February timeline. And as it relates to disbursement, the WCEC will be working on a hybrid approach. There will be we're working directly with a travel agency who will book directly your flight, your lodging, and your registration, and then those per diem costs will be reimbursed to you once you submit your receipts. And again, those folks who are actually notified that they were awarded, there will be a step-by-step breakdown of how we accomplish that disbursement. And as mentioned again, this programming is only for uh, professionals, industry professions. Um, so women of color in engineering who are attending professional development opportunities, whether that be virtual or in person in the continental United States and its territories. Right now, international opportunities are not eligible, and students are not eligible for the award. Y'all, I have been talking a while, so going to go ahead and definitely wrap this up. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat and listen to me walk through the application. The WCEC travel stipend has been open since October 1st and will stay open until November 15th. And awarding will be dispersed beginning in February 2025. So thank you so much for listening, and please stay attuned to all of our program offerings. The WCC will be collaborating with ACES for a November webinar, and also our profiles database is open, all of this information you can find via our website. So thank you so much for taking the time with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.